What comes to your mind when you hear the words credit card? Maybe you think about rewards. Maybe you think about shopping. Maybe you think about debt. Or maybe you think about those flashy advertisements promising cashback, free flights, and exclusive perks. The truth is that credit cards are one of the most misunderstood financial tools in the world. Some people swear by them. Others avoid them completely. Some people use credit cards to build excellent financial lives. Others use the same cards and end up trapped in debt for years. So who's right? Well, both. Because a credit card is neither good nor bad. It's simply a tool. Think about a kitchen knife. A professional chef can use a knife to prepare amazing meals. Someone careless can use the exact same knife and get hurt. The knife isn't the problem. The user is. And the exact same thing applies to credit cards. Today, I'm going to show you the 10 biggest advantages and the 10 biggest disadvantages of having a credit card. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how credit cards work, who should use them, who should avoid them, and how to make sure you stay on the right side of the equation. But before we begin, let me tell you a quick story. The story of Sarah and Mike. Sarah and Mike are both 25 years old. Both earn the same income. Both receive the exact same credit card. Fast forward 10 years. Sarah has excellent credit. She earns rewards. She pays almost no interest. She qualifies for better loans. She has saved thousands of dollars. Mike, on the other hand, is drowning in debt. He's paying interest every month. He's stressed. He's struggling financially. What happened? Did Sarah get a better credit card? No. Did Mike receive a worse card? No. They had the exact same tool. The difference was how they used it. And that's exactly why understanding credit cards is so important. Let's start with the advantages. Advantage 10. Convenience. Scene: Bob carries a huge stack of cash and drops it everywhere. Imagine it's the year 2000. You want to buy something expensive. You need cash. So you visit the bank. Stand in line. Withdraw money. Count it. Carry it. Protect it. Then finally make your purchase. Now compare that to today. You walk into a store. Tap your card. Done. The transaction takes seconds. Convenience may not sound exciting, but it matters. Time is valuable. Every minute spent standing in lines, counting cash, or searching for exact change is a minute you could spend doing something more productive. Credit cards simplify modern life. Whether you're buying groceries, booking a hotel, ordering food, paying subscriptions, or shopping online, credit cards make the process fast and easy. Many people don't appreciate convenience until they lose it. Imagine having to pay for every online service using cash. Sounds impossible, right? That's because modern commerce was built around digital payments. Convenience alone isn't enough reason to get a credit card. But it is one reason why billions of people use them every day. Advantage 9. Better security than cash. Scene: Bob drops a wallet full of money. Let's do a simple thought experiment. You lose 500,000 Nigerian nairas in cash. What happens? In most cases, it's gone forever. You can't track it. You can't freeze it. You can't reverse transactions. Now imagine losing a credit card. Completely different story. You call your bank. The card gets blocked. Suspicious transactions can often be investigated. Many banks offer fraud protection. Some even send instant alerts every time your card is used. This creates a layer of security that cash simply doesn't provide. Now, credit cards are not immune to fraud. We'll talk about that later. But compared to carrying large amounts of cash, they often provide significantly better protection. This is one reason wealthy individuals rarely walk around carrying huge amounts of physical money. Cards are simply safer. Advantage 8. Online shopping access. Seen, Bob shopping on a laptop. The world has changed. Today, opportunities exist online. You can buy products from another continent. Enroll in online courses. Pay for software. Subscribe to streaming platforms. Book flights. Reserve hotels. All without leaving your house. Credit cards make this possible. Think about all the services people use every day. Streaming subscriptions. Cloud storage. Website hosting. Educational platforms. Many of these services are designed around card payments. Without access to card-based payment systems, participating in the digital economy becomes much harder. For entrepreneurs, freelancers, content creators, and remote workers, credit cards often act as a gateway to global opportunities. The internet has made the world smaller. Credit cards help you participate in that world. Advantage 7. Emergency flexibility. Seen, Bob's car suddenly breaks down. Life is unpredictable. Cars break down. Phones stop working. Medical emergencies happen. Unexpected expenses appear when you least expect them. This is where credit cards can provide flexibility. Notice something important. I didn't say they replace an emergency fund. Your emergency fund should always come first. But sometimes emergencies happen before you've built enough savings. A credit card can temporarily bridge that gap. Let's say your laptop dies tomorrow. You need it for work. You don't get paid until next week. A credit card may allow you to solve the problem immediately. The key word here is temporary. Responsible users view credit cards as short-term tools, not permanent solutions. Used correctly, they can provide breathing room during difficult situations. Used incorrectly, they become the emergency. Advantage 6. Purchase protection. Seen, Bob proudly buys a brand new phone. Many people don't know this benefit exists. Some credit cards offer purchase protection. Let's imagine you buy a new phone. A week later, it's stolen. Or accidentally damaged. Depending on your card's benefits, you may receive some protection. Some cards even extend warranties beyond the manufacturer's original warranty period. Think about that. You're getting extra protection simply because of how you paid. Now, every card is different. Some provide amazing benefits. Others provide very few. The important lesson is that a credit card can sometimes offer value beyond simple payment processing. It's another layer of protection between you and unexpected losses. So far, things look pretty good. Convenience. Security. Online access. Emergency flexibility. Purchase protection. But we're only halfway through the advantages. And trust me, some of the biggest benefits are still ahead. Let's continue. Advantage 5. Rewards and cashback. Seen, Bob stands under a money tree while coins and reward points fall from the sky. Bob. Let's talk about one of the biggest reasons people love credit cards. Rewards. Who doesn't like getting something back for money they were already planning to spend? Imagine you buy groceries every month. You pay for fuel. You pay utility bills. You buy things online. These are expenses that exist whether you use a credit card or not. Now imagine earning rewards every time you make those purchases. That's exactly how many credit card reward systems work. Some cards offer cashback. Others offer points. Others offer travel miles. Some even provide discounts on hotels, flights, restaurants, and shopping. At first glance, it sounds amazing. Spend money. Get rewarded. What's not to like? Well, here's the catch. Rewards are only valuable if you are going to make the purchase anyway. A lot of people fall into a dangerous trap. They start spending more money simply because they want more rewards. That's like spending 100,000 Nigerian Nairas just to earn 1,000 Nigerian Nairas back. It makes no sense. Smart users view rewards as a bonus. Nothing more. They stick to their budgets. They spend only what they plan to spend. And then they collect rewards on top. Imagine two people. Sarah spends 200,000 Nigerian Nairas on necessities and earns cashback. Mike spends 500,000 Nigerian Nairas on things he doesn't need just to collect rewards. Who wins? Sarah. Because rewards should support good financial habits, not replace them. If used correctly, rewards can generate hundreds or even thousands of dollars in value over time. But only if discipline comes first. Advantage 4. Better expense tracking. Scene: Bob sits in front of a giant dashboard showing colorful spending charts. Most people think they know where their money goes. But when they actually look at their spending history, they're shocked. A coffee here. A subscription there. A few food deliveries. Random online purchases. Small expenses add up incredibly fast. One of the hidden advantages of credit cards is automatic record keeping. Every transaction gets recorded. Every purchase gets categorized. Every payment leaves a trail. Instead of guessing where your money went, you can see it clearly. Imagine discovering that you're spending 80,000 Nigerian Nairas every month on food delivery. Or 50,000 Nigerian Nairas on subscriptions you barely use. Or hundreds of thousands of Naira every year on impulse purchases. Most people never notice these patterns until they examine their spending records. Knowledge creates awareness. Awareness creates control. And control creates. A credit card statement can sometimes teach you more about your habits than any financial book. Because it shows the truth. Not what you think you're doing, but what you're actually doing. Advantage 3. Building credit history. Scene: Bob stands beside a growing financial reputation meter. This is one of the most powerful advantages of all. Let's imagine you've never borrowed money before. A bank knows almost nothing about you. They don't know whether you're responsible. They don't know whether you'll repay loans. They don't know how you handle debt. Now imagine you've used a credit card responsibly for years. You pay on time. You keep balances low. You avoid missed payments. Suddenly, you have a track record. UVE built trust. And that's essentially what credit history is. A record of financial behavior. Think of it as a financial report card. When lenders see a strong history, they're more comfortable lending money. This can lead to better loan approvals, lower interest rates, higher borrowing limits, easier access to financial products. Building good credit takes time. You can't build it overnight. That's why responsible credit card use can be valuable. You're not just spending money. You're rebuilding a financial reputation. And a strong reputation can save you a lot of money in the future. Advantage 2. Financial flexibility. Scene: Bob stands between today and payday. Life doesn't always follow a perfect schedule. Sometimes expenses arrive before income. A repair bill appears unexpectedly. A business opportunity comes along. A necessary purchase can't wait. Credit cards provide flexibility. Notice that word carefully. Flexibility. Not free money. Many people confuse the two. A credit card allows you to adjust timing. It doesn't magically create wealth. Let's imagine payday is next week. But you need to purchase something important today. A credit card gives you options. This flexibility can make financial management easier, especially for responsible individuals who already have a plan for repayment. Think of it like a bridge. The bridge helps you cross a river. But the bridge is not the destination. Similarly, credit cards help manage timing. They do not replace income. People who understand this distinction tend to benefit greatly. People who don't often end up carrying debt. And that's where problems begin. Advantage 1. Interest-free borrowing. Scene: Bob points to a giant sign that says "Pay in full." This is the king of all credit card benefits. The benefit that makes everything else possible. The grace period. Many credit cards allow you to borrow money for a short period without paying interest. Think about that for a moment. You make a purchase. You receive the item immediately. You pay later. And if you pay your balance in full before the due date, you may pay zero interest. That's incredibly powerful. Imagine borrowing money from someone for several weeks without paying extra. That's essentially what's happening. But remember something important. This benefit disappears the moment you start carrying balances. The people who get the most value from credit cards are usually the people who never pay interest. They enjoy rewards, cashback, security, flexibility, credit building, all while paying little or nothing in interest charges. These people understand the game. They use the bank's money temporarily, then repay it before fees appear. That's how credit cards are designed to work at their best. Now let's talk about the other side. Because every advantage has a potential downside. Everything we've discussed sounds wonderful. Rewards, convenience, flexibility, protection, credit building. But credit card. Companies don't earn billions of dollars because everyone uses cards perfectly. They earn billions because many people make mistakes. And those mistakes can be expensive. Very expensive. Let's examine the disadvantages. Disadvantage 10. Easy to overspend. Scene: Bob walks into a store planning to buy one item and leaves pushing 3 shopping carts. Bob. Let's start with one of the biggest dangers of credit cards. Overspending. Have you ever gone shopping for one thing and somehow ended up buying 5 things? Maybe you went to buy toothpaste. Then you noticed a sale. Then you grabbed a snack. Then another item caught your eye. And before you knew it, your basket was full. Now imagine doing that with a credit card. The problem isn't that you're spending money. The problem is that spending doesn't feel as painful. Think about paying with cash. You physically hand over money. You see it leave your wallet. Your brain immediately recognizes the loss. But with a credit card? Tap. Done. The money doesn't seem real. At least not in that moment. Psychologists call this the pain of paying. When payment feels painless, people often spend more. Businesses understand this. That's why digital payments are encouraged almost everywhere. The easier it is to spend, the more people tend to spend. Imagine 2 friends. Sarah uses a budget and tracks every purchase. Mike swipes his card whenever he wants something. 6 months later, Sarah is saving money. Mike is wondering why his balance keeps growing. The difference isn't income. It's behavior. Becomes too easy. That's why discipline matters. Because your credit card doesn't know the difference between a need and a want. Only you do. Disadvantage 9. High interest rates. Interest is where things become dangerous. Very dangerous. Let's imagine you borrow money from a friend. Your friend asks for exactly the same amount back. Simple. Now imagine borrowing money from a credit card company. They want their money back. Plus interest. And credit card interest rates can be extremely high. Sometimes higher than 20%. Sometimes 25%. Sometimes even higher. Many people underestimate how expensive this becomes over time. Let's use a simple example. Suppose you buy something expensive and don't pay the balance in full. Interest begins accumulating. Month after month. Year after year. Suddenly the item costs much more than its original price. The scary part is that interest works quietly. You don't feel it immediately. It's like a leak in a water tank. At first, everything seems fine. Then one day you discover you've lost far more than expected. Banks love customers who carry balances. Because interest is where much of their profit comes from. And that's why learning to avoid unnecessary interest payments is one of the smartest financial skills you can develop. Disadvantage 8. Debt can grow faster than expected. Scene: Bob feeds a tiny debt monster that gradually turns into a giant creature. Most people don't wake up one morning and decide to accumulate massive debt. That's not how it happens. Debt usually grows slowly. Quietly. Almost invisibly. It begins with one purchase. Then another. Then another. And another. Each individual purchase seems harmless. But together they become something much larger. Imagine carrying a backpack. One book isn't heavy. Neither is 2. Or 3. But keep adding books and eventually the backpack becomes difficult to carry. Debt works the same way. The problem is that many people only notice the weight when it becomes overwhelming. That's why small financial decisions matter. Every swipe contributes to the bigger picture. Smart users constantly ask themselves, can I afford this? Not, can my credit card afford this? Those are very different questions. And understanding the difference can save you years of financial stress. Disadvantage 7. Late fees and penalties. Scene: Bob forgets to check a calendar and alarms start ringing everywhere. Life gets busy. People forget things. Deadlines get missed. And unfortunately, credit card companies usually don't care why you forgot. If a payment is late, there may be consequences. You could face fees. Additional charges. Potential damage to your credit profile. And in some cases, even higher interest rates. One missed payment may not seem like a huge problem. But repeated missed payments can become expensive very quickly. Let's imagine someone misses one payment. Then another. Then another. Suddenly they're paying extra money simply because they weren't organized. That's frustrating. Because it's completely avoidable. Many experienced credit card users solve this problem by setting reminders. Others use automatic payments. The goal is simple. Never miss a due date. Because paying late doesn't provide any benefits. It only creates unnecessary costs. Disadvantage 6. Credit score damage. Scene: Bob watches a giant score meter rise and fall. Earlier, we talked about how credit cards can help build credit. Now let's talk about the opposite. Because the same tool that can improve your financial reputation can also damage it. Imagine trust as a glass jar. Every responsible action adds a marble to the jar. Every irresponsible action removes one. Paying on time builds trust. Keeping balances manageable builds trust. Using credit responsibly builds trust. But late payments, missed payments, maxed out cards? Those actions can reduce trust. And that's essentially what happens with your credit profile. Because the final 5 disadvantages include some of the biggest mistakes people make with credit cards. And some of them are surprisingly common. Let's continue. Disadvantage 5. Hidden fees. Scene: Bob signs a contract while tiny fee monsters hide in the fine print. Bob print. And that's where hidden fees often live. Now, not every credit card has lots of fees. Some are very straightforward. But many cards can include charges that people don't fully understand. For example, Annual fees. Late payment fees. Foreign transaction fees. Balance transfer fees. Cash. Advance fees. The problem isn't that these fees exist. The problem is that many people don't know they exist until they are charged. Financial success isn't just about making good decisions. It's also about avoiding bad surprises. Disadvantage 4. Lifestyle inflation. Scene: Bob upgrades everything around him. Bigger house. Bigger car. Bigger phone. Bigger TV. One of the most dangerous financial traps isn't poverty. It's lifestyle inflation. Let's imagine your income increases. Naturally, you may want to enjoy some improvements. That's normal. But many people take it too far. Instead of saving more, they spend more. Instead of investing more, they upgrade everything. The bigger apartment. The newer phone. The luxury watch. The expensive vacations. Credit cards often make this process easier. Because the purchase feels affordable. You don't pay everything immediately. So your brain tells you, it's fine. But here's the truth. Many wealthy people don't become wealthy because they spend more. They become wealthy because they keep more. Lifestyle inflation quietly steals future wealth. Every unnecessary upgrade is money that could have been invested. Every luxury purchase is money that could have been growing. The goal isn't to look rich. The goal is to become rich. And those are often very different paths. Disadvantage 3. Minimum payments create false comfort. Scene: Bob sees a giant debt while only removing tiny pieces of it. One of the most misunderstood features of credit cards is the minimum payment. At first glance, it seems helpful. You owe money. Stay vigilant. Because protecting your finances isn't a one-time action. It's an ongoing habit. Disadvantage 1. Debt can create financial stress. Scene: Bob sits in a room surrounded by bills while a clock ticks loudly. We've reached the biggest disadvantage. And surprisingly, it isn't interest. It isn't fees. It isn't fraud. It's stress. Because money problems rarely stay money problems. They affect everything else. Sleep. Relationships. Confidence. Mental health. Productivity. Future goals. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack every day. At first, it's manageable. But over time, it becomes exhausting. Debt can feel exactly the same way. The larger it grows, the heavier it becomes. Many people underestimate how much financial pressure impacts daily life. They think it's only numbers on a statement. But it's more than that. It's emotional. It's psychological. It's real. That's why avoiding unnecessary debt is about more than money. It's about freedom. Freedom to make choices. Freedom to pursue opportunities. Freedom to invest in your future. Freedom to sleep peacefully at night. And those freedoms are incredibly valuable. Final lesson. Scene: Bob stands between a green path labeled discipline and a red path labeled debt. Now let's return to Sarah and Mike. Remember them? Same age. Same income. Same credit card. Different outcomes. Sarah treated her credit card like a tool. Credit cards simply amplify habits. Good habits become more powerful. Bad habits become more expensive. Bob's 10 credit card rules. Scene: Bob holds a giant checklist. If you decide to get a credit card, remember these 10 rules. Rule number 1. Never spend money you cannot repay. Rule number 2. Pay your balance in full whenever possible. Rule number 3. Avoid carrying debt month after month. Rule number 4. Track every purchase. Rule number 5. Ignore the temptation to overspend. Rule number 6. Treat rewards as bonuses. Rule number 7. Read the terms and conditions. Rule number 8. Pay on time every time. Rule number 9. Monitor your account for fraud. Rule number 10. Remember that a credit card is a tool, not free money. Follow these rules and credit cards can become incredibly useful. Ignore them and they can become incredibly expensive. Ending. Scene: Bob holds a credit card in one hand and a stack of investments in the other.